Greetings, friends, and welcome to the woods. Since I had a positive affirmation regarding covering dreams and doing a dream interpretation on the spirit of our culture based on the stories that we tell, based on the art we produce, the stories that we tell through our popular media, I will be starting that this week. But I wanted to share with you a few thoughts about the general process of using our intuition to determine what's happening, what's truly happening right now in our world, with us, in our world, and sometimes the devices that we use to assist that. Now, most of us have been highly conditioned to be suspicious or fearful of any processes that humans have developed to aid in their intuition, to aid in their ability to see beyond the distortion field that's been created for us to live within, and to look at the actual creation process itself, the energies that are assembled and ready to bring in and form into creating our world. You probably have realized by now part of what generates our world is our belief and our feelings about it. And when you have a block of people who've been conditioned to look at things a certain way, it can bend reality to fit whatever that narrative is, which is why storytelling is so crucial. When we want to look past that, many of us use tools to assist us with that process. For some, it's astrology. Astrology is specifically designed to help us understand what energies are present, what energies are likely to be present. It is sort of like a weather report on the psychic energies around you so that you know what you have to deal with, what you have to work with, what you have to deal with. You know not to plan a picnic on a day like this because you're likely to get rain and snow, to wait until the seasons change a bit or until you have an unusual configuration, an alignment within a seasonal expression that actually makes sense for what you're doing. And for that, you use astrology. Some people use pendulum or dowsing, and that particular method is more about using something that helps you focus and centering yourself and finding the answer, finding the direction. Some people use tarot. That is a specific method of language where you're talking back and forth with angelic entities that have championed the use of that particular tool to be able to talk back and forth with humans who are interested in developing a relationship in that way. Some use runes for a European tribe or bones for, say, the African tribe that fall into certain configurations that help them understand their question, to help them suss out what they're really seeing. And with both of those methods, there are certain ancestral guides, guardians, and patrons that assist with that process. Very often, each method of tapping into spirit, tapping into our intuition, has a guardian, a protectorate, a guide. Those spirits who were pivotal in bringing that method to a certain life wave of mankind and who use it as a window to speak through. And it's important that you understand that. And it's also important that you understand the methods that are used that don't have any specific protections and how to invoke those protections. But I will get into each of these methods and the seriousness of that and the specifics of that over the next few months. We'll talk about each one. It's some of these things. It's one thing to read the book and to know how to do the mechanics of it, but really, when you're tapping into your intuition, it's an art form. Anybody can play the piano by tapping on the keys, but it's when you put your spirit into it, your soul energy into it, that you really bring the music to life. And it's the same with these methods. All of these tools do not have power in and of themselves unless you imbue your energy into them. And then it only functions and lasts if a knowledgeable practitioner or a sincere student is utilizing it for the reason your intention has a lot to do with it. You have to use it with the reason that you want to explore your intuition. You want to tap into the truth. And if you're not using it for that purpose, if you're using the tarot for a set of playing cards, so gambling, um, playing games, sussing out, who has the better hand, if you're entering deception into it and all these convoluted um, agendas, you're not going to be tapping into the same energy subset that you would if you were using it for the purpose of discerning and learning. The spirits that you call to you, that you're going to attract with those sorts of activities, with playing around on the Ouija board because you want to make something happen, you want to freak people out, you want to freak your friends out. The energy and the entities that you attract are going to be way different than if you set your intention to discovering the truth. So we'll talk more on that later. But all of these methods are tools that the dominant paradigm and its minions use when they want to and tell us that if we use them, we're damned. I suppose you can guess why that is the case. The Vatican has the most comprehensive library of astrology of anywhere that you're going to find. At least it did until the advent of the internet. Why? Well, of course, because they use it in their politics. They use it in determining what they're going to do, where, and when they're going to do it. It's a vital tool that they don't want us to have. But they didn't want us to read the good book either. That was illegal up until the printing press. And even then, they wanted to keep control. And when they couldn't keep control, they made sure that things were edited heavily in their favor, as they do with history. It's a power struggle. You have to decide within yourself if you want to be a sovereign soul and take control of what you can do and use any tools that make sense to you, that you're good with, or if you're going to go along with their agenda and be fearful of these things. Now, I know sometimes it's hard to make a decision about any of this, but what I would suggest is that you talk to your patrons, your guides, and your guardians, whether it's Buddha or Jesus or Muhammad, whoever you talk to in your heart, and you ask your patrons what you should be doing and what you shouldn't be doing. See if you get an answer. For some God forms, those claiming to be God forms, who have been asked to leave the planet, for those you probably won't get an answer because they're not here anymore. But for those who are present and loving and supportive and who are our true guides and guardians, they should have an answer for you as to whether or not the different methods that you'd like to look at are right for you or should be avoided. Take it to your spiritual teachers, take it to your guardian angels, take it to that which guides and assists you and helps you. And don't approach with fear, because fear cuts you off from everything, including the source of your answers. Approach it with curiosity, interest, and gratitude that you have enough of a link with Source that you're going to find the answer that's right for you. I appreciate your time, and welcome to the woods.